Sonic the Hedgehog. We all know who this speedy porcupine is. I sure as hell do. I mean, come on. He is just as recognisable as Mickey Mouse, if not more. But for those of you who've been stranded in the depths of Jungle Zone for the past 30 years, let me open your heart as we dive into the rabbit hole of Sonic the Hedgehog and the fandom that comes with it. The development of the spiny pinball wheel personality started as a competition for anyone who worked at Sega at the time to design a new mascot that not only defined the company, but to compete with Super Mario and stick the success right up the plumber's fat Italian nose. And with that, over 200 character concepts were submitted, and the winner ended up being a rabbit. Okay. And that somehow turned into a spiny blue hamster with the attitude of Bill Clinton, yes, that Bill Clinton, and shoes inspired by Michael Jackson. That's a funny coincidence. The dude later on worked on the soundtrack for Sonic 3. And Santa Claus? Oh, I see. The colours of his shoes. Alright. When people talk about the creation of the first Sonic game, 3 people usually come into mind. And those people are Yuji Naka, the lead programmer, and he's credited in the first game as U2. Naoto Oshima, the initial character designer for Sonic and Eggman, Robotnik. And he's credited in-game as Big Island. And Hirokazu Yasuhara, the overall game planner and designer for the first game, and he's also credited in-game as Carol Yass. And with 14 months of development, the Blue Blur managed to become Sega's biggest hit in just over a few months after his initial release on June 23rd, 1991. Almost immediately overthrowing the red-hatted tyrant of yesteryear, Super Mario. Hell, one of his introductions into the gaming world was comparing himself to the lame and basic Super Mario world. For the first time in gaming history, or the company's history, Nintendo had competition. Looking at those advertisements now, Sega was extremely aggressive towards Nintendo during those times. Especially when the Speedy Blue pincushion released in the US. Even before the blue dude with the attitude started running around those green hills, Sega was still aggressive as hell, boasting about having exclusivities like Michael Jackson, which was huge at the time. And this, throughout the 90s, this was also where the iconic line "It's free, what Nintendo" did around this time. Now that is a slogan. Really? Do I have to talk about this? Fine, I'll do it. Why did I put myself up to this? Okay, so, to put it very, very lightly, the Sonic fandom has been rather infamous the past couple of decades. There's so many releases to the point where it feels like an apocalypse more than a fan-hearted fandom. Luckily though, the more infamous side of this are from the vocal minority. And thank God for that. From my experience with being in the Sonic fandom, the general fan base are actually really respective. Always coming up with counter arguments, respecting each other, making incredible fan art, and the music, my god, the music. Oh, the fans can create some absolutely rocking covers and remixes of games, of the music from the games. My personal favourite being the Rock Strike My World arrangement of Endless Possibility, of the best game made.
And so we'll carry on. My time to shine has come. I feel it. Feels like I'm lost in a dream. I know in my heart it's my time, and I already see the possibilities are never ending. I see it, and now it's all within my reach, and there's possibility. I see it now. It's always been inside of me, and now I feel so free. And there's possibility.
The new disco remix of the Japanese cover of Stardust Speedway by Plasma Music, who also worked on the soundtrack for an indie game called A Hat in Time, and it's a game that I adore. The 12 series cover of Starlight Zone by T. Lobes, who also worked on the soundtrack for Sonic Mania. And pretty much all the songs that Amy Jones releases, especially her cover of Infinite's theme from Sonic Forces, as mediocre as that game was.
After all this time, you're back for more. So I'll take what's mine and start this war. When everything you know has come and gone, I am rising high on the stars dreaming. So through it all, in the ashes, you're losing the fight. When there's no one left to carry on. This is an illusion. Open up your eyes. The pain persists. I can't resist, but that's what it takes to be infinite.
Sadly, it's the toxic vocal minority that gets the most attention by making the smallest things the biggest issues, like Sonic's arms being blue in the upcoming spin-off series Sonic Boom at the time, or complaining that Sonic had his more modern aesthetic in the successor to Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 Episode 1. Someone in the fandom pepper sprayed a GameStop employee because of Sonic's arms being blue. And that person is a whole other story that I would definitely rather not go into. But hey, at least this kind of thing works at times. Need I remind you of the original live action design of Sonic?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Speaking of the live action movie, recently an official movie Discord server became a thing. Now, I don't know if this was Sega's idea or Paramount's, but it was a complete catastrophe the day it became active. Countless homophobic comments about trans people, arguments about NFTs, very weird and outlandish comments about Sonic, like he started World War II, Sonic's robbing my house, all that kind of stuff. And I don't want to mention the sexual comments made in there, because thinking about that makes me die a little bit on the inside. It was the purest form of mayhem. Again, those comments were from the vocal minority or people messing with the Discord server. Luckily, all those comments were deleted in the general chats. The rest of the server was surprisingly calm, reasonable, and fairly civil discussions. Besides the meme chat. Oh god, the meme chat. But luckily though, the server has been relatively calm lately. The server has bots now that removes a lot of the pre-mentioned homophobic comments. Those people that did message those have been swiftly banned in the server. And now there's 2 general chats that have been very calm from what I can see. All in all, it's now just another Sonic Discord server that I think is a good time for the most part. Oh boy, my experiences. Too many memories. When I was 3 years old, my parents brought home a brand new console for the house, and it was a PlayStation 2. And with that came 4 to 5 games that I remember that I always have fond memories of. 2 of them were Need for Speed Underground 2 and Need for Speed Most Wanted. Good games. The other 3 were Sonic Heroes, Owl the Edge. Yes, I own the worst versions of those 2 games. The most prominent and the most played game that I own, Sonic Mega Collection Plus. Oh boy, that was my introduction to the Sonic series. I still own the game to this day, and it wasn't exactly how I remember it. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. Later on, a few years later probably, I managed to get my hands on the Nintendo DS and finding out that Sonic had some games on there. The Rush trilogy. Oh, the Rush trilogy. They were so good. The music, the gameplay, the aesthetic. Oh. Of all this being said, I love Sonic. From the high-speed adrenaline-fueled gameplay to the upbeat and bouncy music that never fails to put a smile on my face and often sing along to, especially the Crush 40 songs. And the community that keeps this series alive, for better or for worse. Here's to another 30 years of Sonic the Hedgehog.